Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Guys, I've been getting a lot of comments that said I pre-ordered the Surface Duo 2, and I kind of want to give my thoughts and opinions on why I pre-ordered it. Was it a mistake? Why I love the device? Let's go ahead and talk about all that kind of stuff, guys. So starting off right away, yes, I did pre-order the device. I pre-ordered the Glacier White 256GB model. I did not do the 512. To be honest, I just think for $17.99 I probably wouldn't go for this device. Now, even at $14.99, that's the big thing a lot of people have issues with, right? Is the price tag. The price tag's way too much. $14.99 for a phone that I can get the first iteration right here for $400 to $600. Yes, from different carriers you can get this Surface Duo 1 for $400, and a lot of people are like, why would I not just go with that, right? Because Surface Duo 1, like I said before in many videos, is a fantastic device. This is actually a device I use more than my Fold 3 because of the fact of having dual screens, because of having that hinge with a 360-degree motion. Is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this device. But the reason why I pre-ordered the new one is because there is a really big upgrade from the Duo 1 to the Duo 2. Especially if this is your primary device, you're going to want the Surface Duo 2. So starting off right away, they're actually exactly the same size in a way. So the Surface Duo 1, Surface Duo 2 is exactly the same length from top to bottom. Now from side to side is actually where it's smaller. Yes, the Surface Duo 2 is smaller than the Surface Duo 1. It's actually 1.1 millimeters smaller than the Surface Duo 1. Now, I don't really have an issue with that, personally speaking. When it comes to this phone, yes, it's a bigger phone, and you compare it to the Galaxy Fold 3, and you can see, yes, it's a lot more width-wise, actually shorter overall wise, but a lot more width-wise. And somebody did comment and say, how do you use this as a cell phone? Just like that. I know it might be weird to you, but it's really not weird when you start using this phone a lot. And I had this phone as my daily driver for a very long time, so it was actually not weird to use it as a cell phone. It's actually pretty normal. No, some people might look at you, but it's very small and not too many. Nonetheless, though, taking a look at this is actually going to also be, the Surface Duo 2 is going to be heavier than the Surface Duo 1. It's actually 1.13 ounces heavier than the Duo 1, which makes sense because you got that gigantic camera bump on the back. It's exactly the same screen, exactly, except for when it is closed, it's a 5.8 inch versus a 5.6 inch pixel sense display. AMOLED. The screen ratio did go ahead and improve. We actually have a 2688 by 1892 versus a 27 by 1800. So a little bit better. We are getting Android 11 on the Surface Duo 2, which I do like a lot. Surface Duo 1 will be getting Android 11 by the end of this year, but the Duo 2 does get it first technically, so that I guess is a plus if you want to say. There is a extra option when it comes to storage. For $17.99 you can get a 512GB model, which obviously is a little bit more than the other 256GB model. There is still no micro SD card slot, which I still dislike how phones don't do this anymore. I would definitely say my Galaxy Note 20 Ultra was my favorite phone, and a little bit of my favorite phone was because at the very top you could go ahead and push the little button in, right, and bam, came out the SD card and also the SIM card. I love that fact. I wish they would add that back to the Surface Duo 2, but they did not add the Surface Duo 2. Of course, the Surface Duo 2 does have NFC, and this is another big reason why, because you guys do not know, whenever I get a new phone, let's say the Galaxy Fold 3 right now, or the Surface Duo 2 when it does come out, I'm going to be doing daily driving of those phones. I don't buy these phones just to keep them in my room and make a video here and there about them, guys. I actually use them as a daily driver. I use them every single day of my life. So not having NFC on this device, I'm telling you right now, it's the most annoying thing when I use this as my daily driver every single day. Not having NFC, really annoying, because Samsung Pay, Google Pay, whatever you use, absolutely amazing, simple, easy. Just going ahead and walking by, you get your groceries, buy them, bam, tap the device, bam, pays for it. So much easier. Not having it on this device was a big deal. That's why I said before, if this is your secondary device and it's not your primary device, that's not a big deal, right? It's not really much of a big deal to get NFC. If this is your primary device, it's definitely a big deal. It's definitely an upgrade. I like it a lot. RAM size, we do have a 8 gigabytes of RAM versus 6 gigabytes on this bad boy, plus 2 gigabytes of RAM. Is that really going to change too much? Not immensely. It will do something though, and it is a nice little upgrade. We also have a Snapdragon 888 processor versus a Snapdragon 855. That is a more updated processor, more updated unit, which I do like. I will say the 855 is still a really great processor. The 888 though is more updated, but it also runs hotter, and that's what a lot of people have been kind of like, with Surface Duo 2. They're like, I don't know if I want to buy it because it actually runs hotter than the 855, and obviously in a closed shell of glass, do you really want to put a really hot processor in this device? But it looks like so far from what we've seen, it is not an issue at all. For cameras, so with this Surface Duo 1, it of course just has an 11 megapixel camera right here. And I will say with the Fold 3, something I really do love about it is being able to actually take pictures wherever I am, not having to have my $2,000 camera or having a $1,500 camera on me at all times. Having a cell phone that can take pictures is absolutely gorgeous, and that's something the Fold 3 does go ahead and give you with triple 12 megapixel cameras, a 10 on the front and a 4 inside. Now this bad boy right here, Surface Duo 1, only gave you an 11 megapixel right there, and that was it. With the Surface Duo 2, you do go ahead and receive triple camera setup on the back, which is actually better than the Fold 3, as it gives you a 16 ultra wide, a 12 wide, and a 12 telephoto cameras, which is really nice. Also, the inside camera, which was 11 megapixel, will now be 12 megapixel. For video resolution, we are seeing pretty much the same exact thing when it comes to 4K 60 FPS. So either this phone or the brand new one, it's not really anything different, but it is actually different. For 1080p, you can shoot up 1080p up to 240 frames per second, slow motion at 240 frames, and you also do get HDR, which is a big fat upgrade. I don't record too much video on my Surface Duo. I will say that's not really a big selling point for me, but I know some people like to go and record, obviously, on a cell phone and some video. I more or less take pictures. I don't want to take videos too much. Another thing I do like about when it comes to picture taking is that there actually has been a completely revamped camera system, camera setup, and application for Surface Duo 2 that's 100% around their cameras, which I do like. I will say the system for the Surface Duo 1, when it came to the cameras, was absolutely awful. The software was buggy, and it did not work. Until this day, still is not the greatest. Alright, Bluetooth 5.1 from Bluetooth 5.0. Not really too crazy that I would say. The ports are exactly the same. We have a fingerprint sensor on both devices, on the one right here and also one on the Surface Duo 2, which is pretty nice. Water resistance, there is a water resistance on the Surface Duo 2. There is 0 in this one, so this one has no water resistance at all. If it gets wet, it will break. That's GG. For the Surface Duo 2, we do have IPX1, which is the least water resistant you can get, but still get an IP rating. So pretty much what that means is that yes, you can go ahead and avoid having to, if you do get it wet, it's not a huge deal. But at the same time, though, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, based on this is what Microsoft said, okay? Microsoft's quote was, if you're out in a rainstorm, as long as the wind or rain is pointing straight down and not windy at all, you're absolutely fine. Your phone's going to be fine. But if it starts getting windy or stuff, you're probably going to break your device. So it's one of those really sensitive type things. IPX1, and it also IPX means no water resistance. All right, so 49 milliamps hour battery, fast charging enabled for this Surface Duo 2, while Surface Duo 1 did have a 3577 milliamps fast charging. Now it doesn't have wireless charging, which I absolutely hate the fact it doesn't. It does have wireless power transfer, which lets you be able to charge an S Pen on your device. You can just go ahead and rest it right there, bam, start charging your S Pen. But other than that, there is no wireless charging on this device, which I will say is an absolute L. And that's something that when I first saw, I was like, I don't even want to pre-order this because of that fact. But you know what? Aside at the end of the day, wireless charging is great, but I mean, I still have cables, right? I still got cables. Everything else is pretty much the same, except for the fact that you can go ahead from what's called, you can go ahead and get Obsidian Black, or you can get Glacier for this color. And obviously the price tag being $14.99 versus $7.99 is a little bit different. Last and final notable changes I will say is the bezel size. So yes, it's a lot more screen to body ratio. We have a bezels that, to be honest, I haven't had no issue with the bezels on this phone, but it's nice to have even less bezels and more screen to body ratio. That's an absolute W. Another thing I was really interested in and really thought was cool was actually there is a display on the outside here called a glance display. So and inside it is actually curved toward the center so that this outer display does go ahead and show. Now you can't do too much with this outer display. It's really, honestly, at the end of the day, just kind of like a notification bar. It's not like something that you look at and you're like, oh my god, this is a big huge feature added to this phone. It's really not, but at the same time though, it's a nice little feature added where, let's say you pull out your pocket, you can just look at your phone real fast. Okay, I have one missed text, one missed call, bam, just right there, no issue at all. You could probably program that to even do even more things. So that is a really cool feature, really cool functionality. Overall though, guys, why did I pre-order this device? Because it is an upgrade. Okay, you go from 60 hertz in a display to 90 hertz in a display. That is an upgrade. I know it's one of those things where you look at it, right, and you go from you can get this phone for $400 or pay $14.99, but what you're getting is pretty much everything you want. Everything that makes this phone perfect, you're getting 60 to 90 hertz refresh rate, less bezels, okay, better camera setup on the back, you're getting a better Snapdragon processor, increased RAM, you're gonna go ahead, you have a choice of different colors for this device, you're getting NFC, you're getting water resistance, very barely water resistance, you're getting an outside display, you're also going to go ahead and get a overall commitment of 3 years by Microsoft. Yes, guys, Microsoft said they would commit to this device for 3 years. I don't really believe it, but that's beside the point, right? You're getting all that kind of stuff and more, and yes, it's going to cost you a crap ton of money. Now, if you do trade it in, I believe the trade-in value right now is $500 for the Surface. It's up to $500 for the Surface Duo 1. So, I mean, that's even right there. Bam, you could even get some money traded in toward this device and actually get this device done with. And also, the biggest thing about this device is you can put it in phone mode. That's pretty much the big thing. This hinge is just as good as on the Surface Duo 1 as it is on the Surface Duo 2, which is absolutely awesome. I love that fact. And I will say overall, that's why I picked up the Surface Duo 2 and why I pre-ordered it. And again, I know it's gonna be one of those things where it's like people are like, oh, this is not worth it. You were stupid for doing that. I'm gonna get my review on October 21st, guys. There will be a video on this channel talking about my unboxing, my first looks, and then after 1 day, I'm gonna get my review of this device. I'm gonna see how I like it, see if I love it, see if I hate it, and we're gonna be really breaking it down. You guys already know, every device on this channel, nobody gets a freebie, okay? Galaxy Fold 3, no freebie. Surface Duo, no freebie. iPhone, no freebie. Everybody gets an honest opinion about this device. I'm not being paid by nobody to say anything. I am literally giving my honest opinion. So we're going to see how good this device is. If it's worth the money, if it's not worth the money, I'll tell you guys if it's worth the money or not. You already know that. Thank you guys for watching though. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like, subscribe down below. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.